Hello and welcome to the Medallion ceremony to honor the 2021 inductees into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. My name's Marcy Burdick. I'm chairman of the board of the hall and I'll be your host tonight. So the South Dakota Hall of Fame, with its physical location in Chamberlain and its robust online programs, exists to champion a culture of excellence in the state. And we do that by celebrating, preserving, and sharing the stories of people who make our state so special. And speaking of those special people, I would like to invite to the screen now our inductees as the class of 2021. They are 10 amazing people who have been elected into the hall. There are two pieces of their induction into the Hall of Fame. Tonight is the first piece. It's the medallion ceremony, when we physically have a commemorative medallion placed around their necks. It's a physical symbol of their unique fraternity and sorority, and we hope they wear it in the future at all hall events so we can immediately recognize their special status in our state. And then the second piece this May, we'll all gather in person in Chamberlain to officially induct them into the Hall of Fame. The 2021 inductees that you see on your screen come from a wide range of professions and vocations, but each one of them has demonstrated that a person with a vision and a willingness to do the hard work can leave South Dakota a better place. It is truly an honor to be in your company tonight. So to begin tonight's celebration, let me introduce another distinguished South Dakotan, Governor Kristi Noem. Governor.
Congratulations to this year's Hall of Famers for being inducted into this prestigious Academy of South Dakotans. Your contributions are the definition of what excellence means in South Dakota. This year's class of honorees represents the great diversity of talent across our state: artists, business leaders, honored statesmen. I want to offer a special congratulations to Senate Majority Leader Gary Cammack on being named to the 2021 class of honorees. It has been an honor working with Gary these past 4 years in the legislature. And as you all celebrate, I hope you will go forward as examples to others. We need leaders like you showing our children and our grandchildren how they can be a part of South Dakota's bright future. Who knows what future leaders will stand on the shoulders of your efforts. What we do know is that our state is made stronger by your actions and your leadership. So congratulations to the class of 2021, and may God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the great state of South Dakota.
Thank you for being with us, Governor Noem. We appreciate you. So let's begin tonight's medallion ceremony. First of all, I'm going to say it is impossible to capture everything these individuals have done in the state. So I am going to summarize their amazing stories. And as I do so, someone they have chosen will place the commemorative medallion around their neck. Each inductee will make a formal speech next May at our induction ceremony, but tonight we've asked them to make some brief comments reflecting about their thoughts once they heard they were elected into the Hall of Fame. So our first inductee tonight alphabetically is Gary Cammack of Union Center, South Dakota. He is being inducted as a champion of agriculture and sustainability, and his medallion will now be placed by his wife and his business partner, Amy. And as they do that, let me tell you a little bit about Gary. He is a visionary agriculturalist, a businessman, and a statesman. A fourth-generation rancher, he and Amy grew their 320-acre ranch into 13,000 acres of living environmental stewardship. His practices of diversifying grasses, expanding water, reducing erosion, and nurturing wildlife have earned he and Amy state and national awards. As a working rancher, Gary recognized the need for equipment and supplies, so he started Cammack Ranch Supply. Now a major employer in Union Center, it also champions the employment of the differently abled. And in his community of 50 people, Gary's energy and enthusiasm has led to collaboration in projects like a new elementary school, community center, church, firehouse, and cemetery. Gary has served in both the South Dakota House and Senate, where he is currently the majority leader. He formerly chaired the Ag Committee, and he is currently the head of the State Affairs Committee. As one of his nominators said, Gary Cammack's leadership is stamped all over the state. Gary, congratulations. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. And would you share your thoughts when we called you?
I would say that it was a complete and unexpected honor. And also when I was looking, when I knew some about the other honorees, both the current honorees and the past honorees, I was fairly certain that you had dialed the wrong number. It's quite a group that I'm proud to be part of. And I just want to say that I would have never been able to accomplish what my wife and I have accomplished without her being by my side the whole time. And along with that, our four boys have always been a big part of our ranch. And without their help, I wouldn't be able to have served for the public. Because you can't, a wise man once said, you should never own more cows than your wife can feed. For a good number of years, that was certainly the case. We've got several different things that we have accomplished. And like I said, without the dedicated employees that we've had at our business, so that they took care of that business, make sure it runs smoothly. When I was not around, I certainly couldn't have accomplished any of this. So it takes a lot of help from a lot of folks to be able to put some of these things together. So I want to thank the Hall of Fame for this truly wonderful honor that I've been part of.
Well, we're proud to share your legacy, Gary. Congratulations. And I want to introduce now some people who have some other things to say about you.
Gary Cammack, South Dakota Hall of Famer. That has a nice ring to it. Thank you, Gary, for helping to make South Dakota a great place to live, work, and raise a family. As an innovator in agriculture, you've led by example, practicing sound stewardship and careful conservation of the land. As an entrepreneur, you've helped thousands of ranchers care for their livestock and manage their operations. You've served multiple terms as president of the South Dakota Retailers Association and demonstrated thoughtful public service as a policymaker and statesman. South Dakota truly is a better place because of your efforts. Thank you and congratulations.
Gary, congratulations on being inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. What a well-deserved honor. In your time in the legislature, we worked with you on several ag issues over the years, and it was great working with you with your energy and knowledge about agriculture. And we also commend you for the economic development that you created in western South Dakota. The ranch supply store and all the services that you've provided out there have been tremendous. You truly have left a positive impact on South Dakota in general, and we commend you for that.
I'm Don Norton, CEO of SADARO, South Dakota Agricultural and Rural Leadership Foundation. Gary Cammack is a graduate of our first leadership class, and I believe members of that first class always felt a special duty to serve the state and their local communities as leaders. Gary is the highest example of a servant leader. He's a visionary. He grew his ranching business with an eye on land stewardship. He also started Cammack Ranch Supply in the late 1970s because there was a need for a regional supply store. He's been a leader on community projects like the community center and the church and the school. He also has been a leader in the legislature, in the House and the Senate. We bring our leadership classes to meet with Gary in Union Center because he models the skills and the knowledge and the character of a leader. He provides a first-hand demonstration of rural community empowerment and that positive impact that one person can have on the future of South Dakota.
Gary Cammack of Union Center, South Dakota, it is an honor to have you in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Joining us is our second inductee, John Crane of Mystic, South Dakota, a champion of the visual arts and of preservation. John is traveling. We're glad you could be with us tonight, John, and placing his medallion is his wife, business partner, and his traveling companion, Gail. John Crane grew up in the East, but he fell in love with the West as a teenager. After college was a 5-year stint as an Air Force pilot, and it ended at Ellsworth Air Force Base in near Rapid City. And lucky for us, his decision to stay in the Black Hills. Since 1976, John's meticulously detailed artwork has captured the history and the spirit of our state. His objective, to apply the mood he perceives to his creations, creating a feeling of familiarity, a longing for a simpler time, and a yearning for a peaceful place to call home. His trademark, Art That Takes You Home, speaks to the emotional impact of his work. But John's art is only one phase of his life. His art has been at the center of many others, including his purchase and restoration of a historic building in Hill City for his gallery, which helped spur a new art-related identity to the now vibrant community. And John has also donated hundreds of thousands of dollars in proceeds from his art to benefit many, many charities, including the Children's Home, the State Parks Department to benefit the Mickelson Trail, and perhaps most famously, the America's Holiday Tree Committee, with the proceeds of his iconic painting of the Black Hills spruce tree that was designated as the White House Christmas tree. The John Crane also helped form the Black Hills Historic Preservation Trust, investing time, money, and energy into the preservation and restoration of fragile structures on public land that would otherwise have been lost. John, it really is an honor to have you into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And I wonder if you'd share some thoughts about your induction when you heard about it.
Well, thank you, Marcy. Words really can't begin to express my feelings about my induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. I truly have been blessed as an artist with the best job in the world. I live and work in the middle of the beautiful Black Hills and travel to so many wonderful places. However, the most satisfying aspect of my career is the knowledge that over the years, my art has brought beauty and pleasure to others. This is a great honor, definitely the pinnacle of my career. Thank you, South Dakota Hall of Fame, for considering me for this honor. Thanks to my longtime student, Angela Marie, for nominating me. And thanks to Linda Dugard, Dale Lamphere, and Jack Kushra for their generous support in this endeavor. And especially my lovely wife, Gail, who has been a true partner in my career. She has held together the business of things for almost 29 years, taking on all those tasks that are alien to us artists. Without her, I would not be where I am today. Thank you, Gail. I love you. And most of all, many thanks to the people of South Dakota who have been partners in my career, enabling me to pursue my dreams by embracing my art and preventing me from being that proverbial starving artist. I am grateful. Thank you.
John, thank you. And again, we have some others who would like to share their thoughts about you and your work.
Someone said the world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do. John, when you and I began our life together, you warned me you were a dreamer, but you didn't warn me you were a doer. I learned that by watching. You dreamed of a house on a trout stream and you built it. Together, we dreamed of a gallery in Hill City and you created it. You dreamed of how to help others with your art, and you did that too. The children, the homeless, preservationists, recreationists, the list goes on. And today, I stand with the South Dakota Hall of Fame and the people of your adopted state to say, well done, dreamer, dream on.
Everything you've given to this state, given to this organization, your art, Mystic Traveler, have allowed us to see into your souls, and what good souls they are. So, congratulations on being selected into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. No one's It is certainly a lofty measure of a life well lived. Thank you very much.
Nice job, John.
That's like John. Wow.
Congratulations, John Crane. We're so honored to capture your story into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And with me now is Gretchen Hillenbrand, who is wearing the medallion presented to her on behalf of her late father, Ray Hillenbrand of Rapid City, who's being inducted as a champion of collaborative philanthropy and business leadership. Ray Hillenbrand's college degrees were in math and engineering, and he brought that problem-solving, opportunity-finding mindset to the businesses he ran, to the communities in which he lived, and to the organizations that he mentored and supported. Ray Hillenbrand literally changed the face of Rapid City and the lives of countless people. He spent 20 years helping grow and diversify Hillenbrand Industries into one of the Fortune 500's most admired companies. And in 1972, he bought the 777 Buffalo Ranch near the Badlands. That led to many family vacations and a decision in 1980 to move to Rapid City permanently. It was not a quiet retirement. Ray Hillenbrand acquired the Prairie Edge store in downtown Rapid City with a focus on creating a fair market for Native art and artisans and raising the value of their work. He volunteered helping not-for-profit organizations collaborate and reduce duplication. He researched, funded, and developed Main Street Square and the Legacy Commons Playground, making downtown Rapid City a vibrant destination. And in the twilight of Ray Hillenbrand's life, his focus turned to helping people who wanted to improve their own lives. He envisioned a second chance facility, researching a safe place where people could get education and skills to rebuild their lives. That dream is now the One Heart campus in Rapid City, which has not only fulfilled his dream, but fulfilled a significant need in the community. Gretchen, we are so honored to capture your dad's story in the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and I wonder if you would share your thoughts.
Thank you so much. I know my dad would be honored, and I accept this in his memory and on behalf of my siblings too. Though he was not from South Dakota, my dad quickly made it his home state, and he became a part of the very tight community there. He adopted it as his home state, developing ideas, forging new relationships, caring for the land, learning from and appreciating the diversity there. Ultimately, he found ways to help the local people, and his dream was to make South Dakota the most caring state in the country. And because of the community within South Dakota, he was able to do this and succeed this with his work. I'm very proud that he's a part of this group because I think what he has done in South Dakota, pulling together resources and communities that were already there and put in a foundation to reach out to people of need on every level, is quite remarkable. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Gretchen, and we obviously agree and want to share some other thoughts about Ray Hillenbrand's legacy.
Ray Hillenbrand was an incredible visionary and a successful businessman. He moved from Batesville, Indiana to the Black Hills after he purchased the 777 Ranch outside of Hermosa. He moved his family in 1980 and began to work in Rapid City. He was a brilliant human being with a huge heart. He was a transformative leader, investing and leading the development of downtown Rapid City. And as a philanthropist, he changed so many lives on an individual level and through nonprofit organizations in Rapid City and throughout the Black Hills. The One Heart campus was Ray's last living legacy, and that campus itself is transforming lives every day. We're thrilled to be a part of this award for Ray Hillenbrand. Ray Hillenbrand, and his life was such a gift to Rapid City and to South Dakota.
So I still remember the first time I met Ray, and I was just brand new on the city council. It was summer of 2011. We were standing at the launch of Main Street Square. I didn't then know how much had gone into trying to bring that vision to life, but I'm standing next to this gentleman who just struck up a conversation with me, didn't give me his name, was just talking about how there had been so many doubts in the community, and he hoped that Main Street Square would be everything that the supporters thought it would be. And it was weeks later that someone pointed him out in a crowd and said, "Oh, by the way, that's Ray Hillenbrand." And I went, "Oh."
I think of Ray every time I'm in downtown Rapid City. It was really his vision that made it such a vibrant and inviting place for families, young professionals, and everyone. He had a vision to make Rapid City the kindest city in the United States. He called that a real lucky strike extra. Because of his leadership, his philanthropy, his vision, we're on our way to doing that.
To be in the presence of people with that kind of brilliance and just that view of humanity that he wanted to help people and wanted their lives to be better, and if his success could make other people be successful, he was a big fan of that. So his induction into the Hall of Fame, they had tried for many years to get Ray into the Hall of Fame, and the only way this was going to happen was with his passing. And so now I get to have a little joke on Ray, that in his passing he did become part of the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and he certainly deserves this a great deal. I'm proud of Ray, and I'm proud of his family, and just proud that I was able to have some association and affiliation with him over these years. And way to go, Raymond.
Ray Hillenbrand left a better, stronger Rapid City, and we are honored to welcome him into the Hall of Fame. And now our next inductee is Dr. David Kapaska of Sioux Falls, a champion of medicine, medical management, and in innovative technologies. Placing his medallion is his wife, Marian, and several other family members, it looks like. And as that happens, let me tell you about Dr. Kapaska. He has had an amazing, very varied career, but built around service. His first career was as a captain in the Air Force, logging more than 2,500 hours as a pilot and commander in both peace and wartime. Then he got an MBA and built a successful business career. And then his service desire loomed large, and he went to medical school and built a family practice in Iowa. Dr. Kapaska came to South Dakota in 1999 as Senior Vice President of Avera Health in Sioux Falls. And in 2010, when he was named President and CEO, he was the first physician in that organization's 100-year history to carry that title. During Dr. Kapaska's time at Avera, he impacted healthcare statewide with his innovative early push into telemedicine. It is now the world's largest and most robust telemedicine network serving rural communities. He also expanded technology and services with things as varied as Gamma Knife in dialysis centers, into liver transplant, and helped expand medical research in the state of South Dakota. Dr. Kapaska retired in 2010, only to be called out of retirement for yet another career to head the Sioux Falls Chamber during a transition year. Dr. K, as he was known by his staff, had an oft-quoted mantra: bring your talent and your dedication to work, but don't forget to bring your heart. Dr. David Kapaska, we're so honored to have you in the Hall of Fame. Tell us about when you got the call.
Well, thank you, Marcy. I appreciate it. And I have to say, moving to South Dakota when I was 50 years old, I was surprised, shocked, thrilled, honored, and humbled all at once. And thankful that my contributions in South Dakota were deemed worthy. Life's truly a series of random events that forge themselves into something meaningful. I think back to my Air Force Academy days, and service before self was the mantra. Flying refugee evacuations out of Saigon in the last days of the Vietnam War gave me a whole different picture of immigration and refugees and how important all people are to us. My wife Marian encouraging me to go to med school as a dream of mine at age 32 with 3 small children was a miracle, to say the least, and most appreciated. And we did it. After training and 10 years of practice, as said, I came to Avera McKinnon and to join a group started and supported by the sisters, the Presentation Benedictine sisters, who also were service before self at all times, was an honor. And when Fred Kennecke challenged me to figure out a way to take subspecialty medicine to all of our rural hospitals, that was the birth of Avera EICU, as you mentioned, in Avera eCare, which is one of my greatest prides, not for myself, but the team that put it together over the years, and is really foremost in the world, as you had mentioned, Marcy. And Fred also encouraged me to support the community, and that was part of getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and I enjoyed that greatly. I really want to thank my Avera family for working with their heart and their soul at all times to care for every person we cared for. The Chamber family for making the community a great place to live, and my own family, Marian, and children Carol and Tom and Katie, and the six their spouses and the 6 grandkids, some of who are here today, for all their love and support. And lastly, thanks to the Hall of Fame for selecting me as an inductee. I'm truly touched. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, David. And let me now introduce some other people who have things to say about you.
The Air Force Academy Association of Graduates is proud of all our grads, but none more so than Dave Kapaska. Being inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame is a most noteworthy accomplishment, and certainly among the highest acknowledgments for one of our graduates. I'm Mike Gould, CEO of the Air Force Academy Association of Graduates and Foundation. And on behalf of the AOG and Foundation, I want to congratulate you, Dave, on being selected for this prestigious honor. Noteworthy achievement. It's a suitable recognition of the way you've incorporated the Air Force's core values of integrity, service, and excellence into your professional and personal life. Your innovative work to bring medical access to people of South Dakota who might not otherwise get the care they needed demonstrates leadership in a tangible way. Like a lot of us, you've spoken about the role of the Academy in your life and career successes. The most formative time of your life, you've said, was here at the Academy as a 6'4" big guy on the Falcon team. And after graduating, you fulfilled your commitment to our nation as a pilot, including service in Southeast Asia. You've also lived up to the long-held belief among Academy grads that service to others is in fact a lifetime endeavor. You've exhibited service before self by volunteering on a number of nonprofit boards and being an engaged, generous member of our association. For that and for your lifetime achievements, all members of the Long Blue Line join me in offering a hearty congratulations on this well-earned honor of being inducted into South Dakota's Hall of Fame.
Dr. Kapaska, congratulations from your friends at SDN Communications. Avera and SDN have enjoyed a 30-plus year partnership for improving telemedicine. Your vision for Avera eCare, bringing services to where the patient lives, revolutionized medicine. We at SDN appreciate you partnering with us to make it work from a technical aspect. You pushed us to think bigger. Thank you for that, and enjoy the South Dakota Hall of Fame honoring you.
Congratulations, Dr. David Kapaska. You have literally changed the face of healthcare in South Dakota. Our next inductee is Angela Kennecke of Sioux Falls, a champion of journalism and transparency. Her medallion is now being placed by her husband, Jeff Rink. And as that's being placed, let me tell you a little bit about Angela, who may be one of the most recognizable people in the state of South Dakota after serving for more than 30 years as an investigative reporter and an anchor on Kello Television. Her journalism has exposed tax dollar waste, weaknesses in state processes, and phony business scams. Some of the results of her work: processes have been changed to require more accountability and transparency in state government. Conflict of interest disclosure forms for state boards were created. The state's petition system was strengthened, and some of those scamsters ended up in jail. But some of Angela's most passionate work may be outside of the newsroom. She lost her oldest daughter, Emily, to a drug overdose in 2018 after Emily ingested a drug that was laced with deadly fentanyl. And in her grief, Angela decided that sharing her family's story could help ease the stigma of addiction. She speaks publicly about the ordeal and started a not-for-profit organization, Emily's Hope, which among other things committed $250,000 for treatment scholarships at the New Avera Addiction Care Center in Sioux Falls. But it also helps women and children at a sober living facility and has designed prevention programs for elementary school kids. Angela, congratulations on your election to the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And would you share your thoughts when you got the call?
When I got the call, I was astounded because I am following in the footsteps of the legendary Joe Floyd, who started Kello TV, and Captain 11, Dave Dedrick, who had the longest running children's program in the history of television. To be included among those names for me as a broadcaster is just, it's such an honor. I mean, an incredible honor. And because of those two men and so many others who formed Kello TV, I inherited a platform that helps me bring stories that are so important to the people of South Dakota to help them make decisions in their everyday lives. In addition, Kettleland Media Group has supported the nonprofit that I founded, Emily's Hope, the legacy charity in my daughter's name. I really feel that when tragedy strikes, the only response that you have is your response. The only thing that you have control over is your response. And I've had so many people come by my side and help support me in our mission at Emily's Hope to help those with substance use disorder not only get treatment, but also help prevent the disease of addiction. When I arrived in South Dakota 32 years ago, I never imagined it would be my permanent home. But the people of South Dakota have come beside me. They have shown me their support and their love. And it has been an incredible experience for me to live and work in this state. And being inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame is an accumulation of everything I have strived for in my career, as well as my nonprofit organization. I would just like to thank everyone who has supported my work as an investigative reporter, who has supported the charity of Emily's Hope, those who have nominated me for this incredible honor, as well as the South Dakota Hall of Fame. I am so very grateful for this recognition.
Thank you, Angela. And now let's take a look at your legacy video.
Congratulations, Angela. We are so excited for you.
You definitely belong in the South Dakota Hall of Fame.
From your in-depth investigations to creating Emily's Hope, you have made a tremendous impact on the lives of South Dakotans.
For all you've done and for all you continue to do for South Dakota, we salute you, Angela.
Angela, I have some of your best friends from college here with me today. We want to share some words of congratulations with you.
Angela, since I've known you, you've always known you wanted to go into journalism. Little did you know what a personal journey your work would lead you to. You've turned your heartache into help and hope for so many, and I love you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Angela. You've used your whole life in service of other people through your news stories and now through Emily's Hope. We're so proud of you.
Hello, Angela. I've known you for over 40 years, since age 13 in junior high, and I'm very proud of everything that you've accomplished in your life.
Angela, you're one of the most determined people that I know. You do an amazing job at Kello as a mother and in your work for Emily's Hope. You are so deserving of this award. Congratulations. We love you, Angela.
Congratulations, Angela. We are so proud to have another Kettleland family member join the South Dakota Hall of Fame.
And Angela Kennecke, we are honored to preserve your story for history in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And we now welcome our next inductee, Dan Kirby of Sioux Falls, a champion in business, philanthropy, and in service. And presenting Dan's medallion tonight is his wife, Arlene. As she does that, I'll tell you a little bit about Dan. He was once asked, I'm told, what activities he participated in at Washington High School in Sioux Falls. Everything was Dan's answer. And then the questioner said, well, which ones did you lead? And he said, all of them. Well, many South Dakotans would answer the same way about Dan when they describe his involvement and his impact on the state. All of them and everything, especially when it comes to his philanthropy. Dan Kirby was a very successful and influential South Dakota businessman with Western Surety Company, and he routinely took leadership roles during his professional years around economic development and taxation. He served as chair of the Sioux Falls Chamber and on the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Board. Later, Dan became one of the state's leading advocates for philanthropy, not just a philanthropist himself, but an advocate for philanthropy. And his commitment is evidenced in not only his personal giving, but in his service on over 21 boards. Perhaps Dan's most significant singular accomplishment was leading the team that made the dream of Washington Pavilion a reality, making Sioux Falls a better, richer place for people from all walks of life. Dan Kirby, you are joining your grandfather into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Congratulations, and would you share your thoughts?
Bet, Marcy. Flabbergasted is the operative word when I got the call. Several days later, though, I realized that I was joining my great-grandfather,
Great.
South Dakota Hall of Fame. I doubt that's ever been done before. He died, nearly 100 years ago, but his wife lived on to old age, and I got to know her in Sioux Falls. She drove an electric car, so she was way ahead of her times. She was a colorful lady as well. I got to spend 2 years in the 1980s unwinding the ownership structure of Western Surety Company, which was started by Joe Kirby, my great-grandfather. It turned out that the family was way ahead of itself way ahead of the times, in that they had 128 of descendants of Joe and Ella Kirby had inherited roughly equal proportions of this company that he started. So my job was to convince 124 of them to sell out to the 4 of us that wanted to make a career there. It was quite a project. They lived in 17 different states. The Cardinal of Los Angeles had to sign off on behalf of 2 convents and a monastery. It all worked out, and I got to spend a full career at Western Surety Company, retiring just after its 100th anniversary in the year 2000. It feels like this has kind of brought me back to the great-grandfather I never knew. I spent a career at his company and spent a lot of time consolidating and working on ownership issues there. All in all, I wouldn't change a thing about being born and raised and working and raising our kids in South Dakota. This is a great honor, and I thank you.
Let's hear from some other friends and family members of Dan Kirby.
Congratulations to Dan Kirby for being part of the South Dakota Hall of Fame class of 2021. Dan has been one of the state's most successful businessmen, leaders, and philanthropists. His career success has been truly admirable, but the work he has done through public service and philanthropy has been truly remarkable and sent ripples throughout his city, state, and even nation.
Dan, your friends at CNA Surety, thank you for your many contributions to the surety industry and, more importantly, to South Dakota. Under your mentorship, I've grown to cherish the institutions of community and giving back, and I know many, many others have learned those lessons from you and Arlene. I'm excited that your impact on South Dakota is honored here tonight. At CNA, we are proud of all your accomplishments, and we know there are many, many more to come. We congratulate you on your induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Cheers.
Dan, on behalf of the Sanford Health family, congratulations. We are humbled to count you as a friend, benefactor, and champion for the health of communities across the region. Thank you for giving your time and leadership to serve on Sanford's Board of Trustees and the Sanford Health Foundation's Board of Directors. And thank you for your generosity. You and Arlene have touched countless lives through your investments in cancer research and care and so much more. From healthcare to the arts, your contributions have helped make South Dakota an incredible place to call home. We could not be more grateful. Once again, thank you and congratulations.
Dan, you are a model for leadership and for giving. Welcome to the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And joining us next is our next inductee, Stephen Lindquist, being inducted as a champion for mental health and mental health treatment in South Dakota. His medallion is being placed by his wife, Patricia, and other family members joining tonight. Steve Lindquist is recognized as an expert for his work and innovation in the area of behavioral health and addiction treatment. His efforts at the clinical, administrative, and the policymaking levels have literally changed lives. It's estimated that over 90,000 adults and children have received inpatient behavioral health care under his leadership, and his outpatient programs have serviced over 100,000 people. Stephen has been instrumental in programs designed to help people stay in their communities instead of being institutionalized, and he's worked to expand assistance and behavioral screening programs. His work has also included expanding university degree programs in the state of South Dakota, and he's served on a number of state commissions and work groups related to mental health. In the wake of a crisis at the facility, Steve Lindquist was appointed as administrator of the South Dakota Human Services Center, and he was tasked with enhancing safety, improving treatment, and restoring public confidence. While there, he was also appointed director of community health for the state of South Dakota, making him one of only 2 people to have ever held that dual role. And he is the only person to have led the 2 largest behavioral health inpatient programs in the state of South Dakota. Steve, thank you for your career, for your lifetime of work. I know you were surprised when we called you. Would you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you're right, Marcy. Your call was memorable, to say the least. I was working on a project down in our basement when the call came, and I looked at caller ID and I see it's a number that I don't recognize, and there's no person popping up. So I was pretty determined to not answer the call, frankly. I thought I was going to get an opportunity to purchase car repair insurance, but I'm glad I answered the call. And then I remembered when you gave me the word that I had been selected to be in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. It was pretty stunning. In fact, I think I sat down on the couch and asked you to repeat that, and you did. And I remember making a comment along the lines of, how did this happen? And you explained the mechanics of the nomination and selection process. I don't remember much of it, frankly, but the part that was very meaningful for me is that I said, my wife's upstairs. Do you mind if I go upstairs and I'll let you make the same announcement to her so she can hear it directly? And that's what happened. You did, and it was a pretty remarkable experience to have both of us get the announcement pretty much simultaneously. So I have my family with me here as much as could be tonight. We're missing one family member who couldn't be here, but between Pat and myself and our family, this has truly been a partnership. We've got a grandchild running around making a little bit of noise here, but that's part of having a family. And so the partnership I have with Pat family is kind of how this happened. When I asked the question of you, how did this happen? It was through support of these people, supportive work colleagues and friends that kept me on the right track and ended up doing some things that I never could have planned nor anticipated I would have been able to do. So it's been very remarkable experience You go from being the youngest person in the room to being the oldest person in the room surprisingly fast. And you don't know what's going to happen in between. And I unfortunately asked the question of employee candidates, what do you want to do in 5 years? And we don't know. We don't know what we're going to do in 5 years. But what we want to do is find the river of interest where we fit. And once we find that, things work out. And you don't know where that river is going to take you. But we've been extraordinarily blessed to have gone a variety of places, and where things have turned out, we're very pleased to have been involved in creating better behavioral health services in South Dakota, going from a time when there was like a total stigma towards mental health services to now it's changed. Is it complete? No, but it's better. And we're very pleased that we're at this point. And thank you so much for my selection into the Hall of Fame. It's been a remarkable experience.
Steve, thank you. And let's hear more now about Steve Lindquist's service to the state.
Steve, congratulations on behalf of the board and staff of Lewis & Clark Behavioral Health Services in Yankton. We are most pleased that your contributions to behavioral health are being recognized. Your induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame is a testament to your life's work. Each of us have benefited from your pioneering work in behavioral health. We are honored to have known you and to have worked with you. Thank you for your service.
Steve Lindquist has been a mentor to so many in the field of behavioral health. He's affected so many lives, not just through his leadership, but also designing and building facilities and policies that changed many, many lives.
Steve was always great to work with and had many funny stories and quotes. One that I remember well is, if you're not having fun at work, you're doing it wrong. On behalf of Dr. Stanley, myself, and all of Avera Behavioral Health, congratulations on a job well done.
Congratulations, Steve.
Stephen Lindquist, thank you for all your work to bring help and compassion to the state of South Dakota. And now joining is our next inductee, Ryan McFarland of Rapid City. Ryan is being joined by his wife, Christy McFarland, and his parents, Joe and Sandra McFarland, with his medallion being placed by his mom, Sandra. Ryan McFarland is founder of the global company Strider Sports International, based in Rapid City. He was a tinkerer and an inventor from an early age, but it all went to a new level in 2007 when he was trying to find a way for his 2-year-old son to enjoy the outdoors with the family. So Ryan stripped, chopped, sanded, and cut and welded on his little son's 12-inch bike until he came up with what would become the very first Strider bike. It was a revolutionary concept to teach balance first and pedaling the bike second. And from that backyard garage project, Strider has grown to more than 75 countries worldwide and annual sales exceeding $30 million. While building a business, Ryan also built a culture of giving back. To date, Strider bike donations have surpassed $2 million in cash and bicycles. In 2017, Ryan created the not-for-profit Strider Educational Foundation, whose efforts include the All Kids Bike program. It is a nationwide movement to put learn to ride programs into kindergarten PE classes at no cost. Currently, the All Kids Bike program is in nearly 400 schools in 45 states. All Kids Bikes teach about 60,000 kids a year the life skill of how to ride a bicycle and be outside. Ryan, congratulations. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. And please share your thoughts tonight.
Congratulations.
We're proud of you, all right?
Thank you, Dad. Congratulations.
Thank you.
They asked what I thought when I first heard that I was being inducted. And, I was excited, but then I was a little confused too, because it feels like Hall of Fame induction, that's something that happens in retirement. And I feel like I'm still in the heat of battle here, a long ways from retirement. But, my wife points out a lot of things to me, and this was no exception. It really is about the journey and not the destination. And celebrating the journey is worth doing, and it can even be inspiring to young people along the way, because it isn't necessarily about whether you made it or to the destination or not. It's getting started on that journey and seeing where it takes you. And that's what's really enriched my life along the way. And so I'm super excited to be celebrating this, and hopefully some kids out there will see the story and also decide to chase down some dreams. So I do want to say thanks to my folks, because my parents really have always encouraged me to dream big and go after those dreams without hesitation. And my wife, she has been really that solid, stable force in our family through all the ups and downs of chasing those dreams. And I've also had a lot of great staff and friends and teachers along the way. And when I look back over it all, I've just been really lucky, really blessed, and it's been what a great adventure.
Ryan McFarland, thank you so much for your comments. And we now want to turn to friends and family members who have some other things to say about you.
When I first met Ryan, I was managing a bike shop, and his love of two wheels, of course, brought him in even then. And one day he brought in a product, the Thudbuster seat post, a suspension seat post that was interesting. And it was particularly interesting coming from just a local guy that I knew. It was great to watch Ryan throughout the years as he made tweaks and would not give up on the product, not give up on how great it was going to be, and it solved a problem that he saw. And 25 years later, it's still been in production and being sold.
Failure doesn't enter his mindset. It either goes or it doesn't, but it doesn't slow him down. It's just, that's a moment of learning, right? I mean, he just keeps going. I want to congratulate my friend Ryan for not knowing what can't be done.
So the initial Strider was a problem because they had a little boy who couldn't ride a bike. So he had to solve that problem. And it's just amazing what he has done since then with that initial idea and where it has gone, how it has affected the world, and how it has affected so many children. Ryan, your mother and I are very, very proud of you, and we're so happy the way this has gone through our lives and yours to an induction into the Hall of Fame. So we're very, very proud.
Ryan gets an idea in his head, he becomes entirely obsessed, and he is going to take every measure possible to make sure the product comes out exactly the way he envisioned it in his head. So Ryan, no one ever expects to get a call that you're going to be inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame, but you did. And what a well-deserved honor. I know how hard you worked your entire life. And it is just, I'm just so proud of you and everything you have accomplished. Congratulations.
It's been incredible to see Ryan with his dream of having his son learn how to ride a bike turn into teaching every child to ride a bike. So he founded All Kids Bike, the nonprofit that teaches kindergartners how to ride in PE class all across America. These little ideas that he's had throughout his life has led to a massive group of people that are, standing behind him and supporting what he does, and he's such an inspiration to so many people.
Ryan, congratulations on your induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. We're all so proud of you for chasing your dream and taking us along for the ride.
Ryan, thank you for all your efforts to make our state and nation a healthier place to be. Now, I want to welcome and say a little bit about Marian Sullivan from Sioux Falls, who is being inducted as a businesswoman, an innovator, and a leader by example. Mrs. Sullivan intended to be with us tonight, but she is ill and unable to join us, but I want to tell you about her anyway. Raised by her widowed mother, Marian Sullivan learned at an early age about the value of hard work, dedication to a goal, and a lifestyle of giving back. After graduating college, she married her life partner, Bill. In 1968, they founded the Sullivan Import Company, now Sullivan's. They started it in their basement, importing lead crystal, music boxes, and candles. 3 years later, that growing business moved to a Sioux Falls warehouse. Bill's sudden death in 1987 was a huge blow, but Marian persevered, leading the now global company's growth through such challenges as foreign political unrest, weather disasters, currency exchange issues, and the weakening of the dollar. She led a team which purchased from 15 countries, 90 different factories, and eventually sold to 17,000 accounts. She sold her multi-million-dollar business in 2014, but continues to maintain an active community presence. She has actively helped such groups as Volunteers of America Foundation, the Children's Home Society, Central Church, the South Dakota Chamber of Commerce, and her alma mater, the University of Sioux Falls. In 2005, Marian helped finance the Bill and Marian Faith and Living Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls. I want to congratulate Marian Sullivan and her family and welcome her into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Let's take a look at Marian Sullivan's legacy video.
Marian has an unwavering faith in God and is steadfastly committed to her family, friends, and humanity in general. Over her lifetime, Marian has been the consummate model of servant leadership, with the good of others always guiding her generosity. She consistently minimizes her role as a humanitarian, even though it's recognized by all that have come to know her. Marian is uncommonly genuine and generous, and anyone that has known her would tell you that they feel honored to call her friend. She is worthy and deserving as a recipient for induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame.
Marian, congratulations on your induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. From all of us at Sullivan, we are so thankful to have had the opportunity to work for you and with you as you chased your dream to be an industry leader in home decor. Along the way, you created hundreds of jobs for people in South Dakota and around the country. You led with character, integrity, passion, and grace. As a wholesaler, Sullivan's was loved by over 10,000 retailers across the country. Your trademarks were outstanding product quality and unparalleled customer service. You understood that your people were your greatest asset and you treated them with the utmost in kindness and respect. In the community, you served with excellence and distinction on so many boards of directors as you chased your other passion, making lives better for children. Once again, congratulations on your well-deserved introduction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. We couldn't be happier for you.
Marian Sullivan, thank you for the gift of your faith, your hard work, and your generosity, and welcome to the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And now joining is Deb Tieszen on behalf of her late husband, Craig Tieszen of Rapid City. Her medallion is being presented by her daughter, Laura, and her two grandkids. Welcome. Let me tell you a little bit about Craig Tieszen. Craig Tieszen died in 2017 in a tragic boating accident off Rarotonga Island, but he left the world as he lived in it, in the service of another as he attempted to rescue a family member. Craig Tieszen graduated from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology with a degree in chemical engineering and multiple lucrative job offers. Instead, he entered the Peace Corps and he taught math and science in Kenya for 4 years. When he revisited that country 35 years later, he was welcomed as a hero. The pattern of service above self was one Craig Tieszen would model in his professional career. After the Peace Corps, he joined the Rapid City Police Department, being promoted through the ranks to police chief. He was instrumental in the process of earning and maintaining accreditation for the RCPD, the only law enforcement agency in the state to meet the high standards for that designation. He worked to recruit and mentor Native American officers and revitalize the Adopt a Cop program. After retirement, Craig Tieszen served in both the South Dakota House and Senate, leading criminal justice reforms that saved the state millions of dollars. He was the lead sponsor of a bill changing the definition of domestic abuse to allow more victims to access assistance programs. But he also gave of his personal time, volunteering at the Club for Boys for 50 years and serving as 25 years as an official of the annual Lakota National Invitational Basketball Tournament. Deb, we are so honored to have Craig into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. And would you share your thoughts about his induction when you got the call?
Yes, thank you very much, Marcy. When I got the call from Marcy and Greta, I certainly wasn't expecting such a great news at that moment. My sister Anita was with me, and she would be glad to tell you that I was really at a loss of words. It took me a few minutes to be able to say anything. My thank you was kind of babbled through tears of joy. Thank you very much. It was reassuring that the board of directors must have seen and read the gathered facts, pictures, and videos that Craig's life story and character fit the profile of the other extraordinary South Dakotans who have been inducted to the Hall of Fame. He would be deeply honored and deeply humbled to receive this medal and be recognized with the other amazing members of this class of 2021. This beautiful medallion is and will be a reminder of Craig's Craig's example of how to be a positive contributor to humanity, choose to be civil, a problem solver, and just plain care about the fellow citizens of Rapid City, of South Dakota, the USA, and the world. I must thank everyone who encouraged me to nominate Craig for this honor. And thanks again to the South Dakota Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Thank you.
Deb, thank you. Craig had lots of friends, and several of them will be seen here in his legacy video.
As past and current members of the Rapid City Police Department, we're pleased to honor Craig's memory and his induction into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. This man is an inspiration to every one of us as a true leader of courage and conviction, not only in the law enforcement profession, but for our community and for our state. He epitomizes integrity and honor, and we're just so proud to be his friend and colleague. Craig, to your memory, God bless you. Thank you, Deb and family, for sharing this man with us.
My best buddy, Craig, was still here. I would be the first one to congratulate him on his induction to the South Dakota Hall of Fame. I cannot think of anybody more deserving of this honor than Craig Tieszen. His entire life was devoted to the service of others, and it never shone more brightly than here at the Rapid City Club for Boys. His influence on thousands of boys made a positive difference in their lives. So I'm so proud of you, buddy, and congratulations again to you and your family.
I had just simply the most incredible honor and opportunity to serve with Craig in the South Dakota Senate and be his colleague when he was in the House of Representatives. I just have to tell you, I came in, he was a seasoned legislator, and I came in as a newbie, and immediately he works with people, with me and others, to try to help them be successful on behalf of the people in South Dakota. We linked arms together, we did some work in domestic abuse, changed policy that would help more people in our state. Senator and then Representative Tieszen was just an incredible statesman. He was a person that would thoughtfully think about legislation, and not only how it affected his own district, but how it affected all the people of South Dakota. But there is no one in the policy arena that I can think of that's more deserving to be in the South Dakota Hall of Fame than statesman, dear friend, Craig Tieszen.
What a pleasure and honor to be part of this well-deserved recognition for Craig Tieszen. Having Craig on our board of directors at West Hills Village over the years was truly a gift. He was always the amazing example of integrity, fairness, community leadership, knowing how to work with others, and always along the way teaching others by his actions and words that benefited all of us around him. Craig's qualities continue to leave an everlasting impression, and his legacy of what he did will last forever in our hearts and mind. Thank you, Craig, for being such an amazing and impactful person that gave of yourself to us in so many ways.
Deb Tieszen and the Tieszen family, we congratulate you, and we are proud to share Craig Tieszen's legacy. Joining us now, popping back onto your screen, are the South Dakota Hall of Fame Class of 2021 inductees and our Board of Directors from the South Dakota Hall of Fame Board. Inductees, your accomplishments are truly humbling, and we are grateful beyond words for your lives of service. Let's celebrate this moment, and let's give you all a round of applause. We hope those of you watching at home are also joining in the celebrations and a toast to the 2021 class. The class of 2021, your stories will be enshrined in the South Dakota Hall of Fame with a physical exhibit, but the story of your achievements will be accessible forever on our digital platforms and accessible to young and old across the state. Our website is sdexcellence.org, and we fully expect you to inspire generations to come. The induction of the people that you have met tonight is just the first step in sharing their legacies. To say a bit more about that is our endowment chairman, Miles Beacom. Miles?
Hello, my name is Miles Beacom, and I'm the South Dakota Hall of Fame Endowment Chair. For over 45 years, the Hall of Fame has continued to inspire and celebrate generations of dream chasers across our great state. We do this by providing dynamic programming, as you're seeing today with this virtual medallion ceremony. We will also do celebrations across our state, as we will do with the class of 2021 at their in-person gathering May 20th and 21st of this year. I hope that you are as inspired as I am with our legacy videos and legends and learning programming that brings inductee stories alive throughout South Dakota classrooms. We also recognize with our Acts of Excellence program, individuals and groups who are doing great things in their communities every single day. Our exhibits at the Visitor and Education Center in Chamberlain showcase new exhibits each year and includes traveling and virtual displays. Our programs are receiving triple-digit usage with online content that is unique and one of a kind in our state. Inductee stories are made of everyday challenges that we all face. It is about sharing those stories of perseverance, learning from mistakes, and continuing to impact tomorrow's future. It is for these reasons that I ask you to consider becoming a part of this important endowment campaign that will support and continue these legacy stories as a household word to inspire and provide role models for our youth. Be a dream chaser that shares and connects South Dakotans to be the best state in our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. Final congratulations tonight to the class of 2021. We will all pass into history at some point, but your histories will continue to live on in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Those of you watching at home tonight, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time, and congratulations again, class of 2021.
Congratulations to this year's inductees into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Your tireless work and achievements assist in continuing to build the future of South Dakota and reflect on what makes South Dakota a great place to live. Thank you for inspiring the future leaders of South Dakota and propelling our state forward. On behalf of CoreTrust Bank, I congratulate you for being a maker of paths, creator of opportunities, and legacy for our state.
Greetings, I'm Yosei Marie Griffiths, President of Dakota State University in Madison. As I look over the list of the class of 2021 South Dakota Hall of Fame inductees, I see that these 10 individuals are dynamic dream chasers who are so very deserving of this honor for their efforts to promote the culture of excellence we desire in South Dakota. Here at Dakota State, we too are dream chasers, seeking excellence in our academics, our research, and our athletics, to create a rising culture for our state and for our world. Congratulations, inductees, on this honor, and we thank you for your example of excellence.
Hi, I am Derek Larson, partner in charge of Sioux Falls office of Ide Bailey. Ide Bailey is thrilled to sponsor the honor ceremony paying tribute to the 2021 South Dakota Hall of Fame inductees. This year's class shines bright with innovators and inventors, artists, public servants, philanthropists, and business professionals. Each of the 10 inductees has made immeasurable contributions to their communities, South Dakota, and beyond. To the inductees and their families and friends, congratulations from all of us at Ide Bailey.
On behalf of First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card, we'd like to congratulate this year's South Dakota Hall of Fame inductees. Congratulations.
And we'd especially like to thank you for your many contributions to your community and to our state. This is a great honor, and your stories will inspire generations to come. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Judson, and as President and CEO of the South Dakota Community Foundation, I want to congratulate all of this year's South Dakota Hall of Fame honorees. We celebrate your varied contributions and achievements that add greatly to South Dakota's rich history and revered way of life. This special recognition serves as an example for others who embrace the tenets promoted by the Hall of Fame and who are champions of excellence. Congratulations, class of 2021.
On behalf of all of us at Avera, we want to congratulate the very deserving honorees for the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Your contributions are what makes our state truly great. I want to give a special congratulations to Dr. Kapaska, or Dr. K as we like to call you. Thank you for your commitment to our leadership, expanding primary care, and the centralization of our cancer programs. And to Steve Lindquist for over 20 years with Avera Behavioral Health, and most recently the Link. You have touched countless lives. Congratulations to all the inductees.
Hi, congratulations to all the South Dakota Hall of Fame inductees this year. What a wonderful accomplishment. And thank you to Dan Kirby for all he is doing for addiction and mental health in our state and nation. Thank you to Steve Lindquist for your programs you have created that have helped save people's lives that I know and love with Avera Health. And thank you to Dave Kapaska for helping get the Avera Addiction Center started. And thank you to Angela Kennecke for starting Emily's Hope to provide scholarships to the treatment center and help save hundreds of lives. Thank you again to all of the inductees for helping our great state.